morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon. Don't give me copyright flag though.
No. You can cut this out.
I sounded like a zombie.
Oh.
Just.
Yeah, in order to grow, you gotta have like some kind of goals.
What's up? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you're listening in, wherever you're listening from. We are happy to be back from a 2 or 3 month hiatus. We got season 6 planned out. Listen, this thing just got big. It grew up and, now we have contacts that we have to line up and stories that we need to tell. So super excited to hear about this. We have a very interesting guest today. We have Qbah. He's representing a couple things, but namely Salud 24/7. We call it a media network. You think of it as TV. It is backed by Telemundo, but it's your own independent health series across social media, across the internet, TV itself as well, man. Congratulations and welcome to the show.
I appreciate you.
And we have, if you want to introduce yourself, Beth. That's awesome so much. Thanks so much. So we were in contact kind of about getting something at the time of recording this. You guys launch next week. So this is coming. This isn't something come fall or October.
No.
Now you have the model built out in Florida now.
Yeah. So long story short, Salud 24/7 or, health 24/7. We're a health related media company that focuses on I can't do. Oh, sorry, my bad. With the headphones,
no
like once I hear myself,
problem.
I want to start spitting. Start spitting the flow. No, we're a health related media company that's focused on providing medical information to the Hispanic community. So we have podcasts, we have a TV show, and then we have our social media. And right now we've been testing it out in Orlando. But we're really excited to bring it here. This is my hometown. I'm born and raised, Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
I'm a South Side boy of Bethlehem. And I'm just really excited to get this where it was originally designed for, and that was out here. And so we're lucky enough to get it distributed on WFMZ, besides Telemundo in Orlando. And we also are pushing to Puerto Rico. So we're going to be on WIPR. They already launched some of our special episodes. And once I saw that it was ready, I called the amazing PA team that I have here, Beth, my one of my business partners, Mike Walsh, and the amazing co-founder, Dr. William Felix, to get all of this together out here.
All right. I'm going to ask you about Dr. Phoenix in a second, but I'm curious. That's a huge undertaking. Why? What made you want to do this specifically for the Latin community and around health?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, the community, I noticed, first of all, I think it's important to know my background a little bit to answer that question. So, I have a background in music production. I'm a video director, right? And obviously I produce TV shows, but I did production for 15, 20 years. And during around 2019, a lot of the team that I did production with, we decided to create our own company. And obviously, what happened the year after that? It was COVID.
Yeah.
And when COVID hit, I noticed that a lot of the information that I was getting in English really wasn't translating well in Spanish, or even worse, some of my family members weren't getting the information at all or misinformation.
Okay.
And so, it just really hit me like, the importance of maybe the first project I work on should be for my community. And that's when, that was the birth of Salud 24/7. So it took us a while to get it, going after testing it and things like that. But that's the huge why. It was just
because it's not out there.
It's not out there. But it wasn't really a business tactic. It was more so I have these skills, right? The skill set. And I have the resources we should really do something for my community, for the Hispanic side of my community. And that was the birth of Salud 24/7 and the actual reason of why we're doing it.
That's a huge driving factor, so it's going to be huge, man. I can't wait.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm nervous, but
huge launch party next week. But before we get to that, tell me about the doctor and the team that you have. What kind of information expertise you're spreading?
Yeah, Dr. William Felix, amazing individual. I mean, he just has a passion for community and getting information to the Hispanic community. He has a background in emergency. He was an emergency room doctor, but he's also does sports medicine. So he just has a vast knowledge of multiple things. So he was like the perfect fit for us because the conversations we have are with all sorts of doctors, right? On all kinds of topics. So with Dr. Felix, his passion, his drive really helped push this project, especially if we hit a crossroads or we run into a huge problem. He's just the driving factor of why it's easy to keep going. But yeah, he and soon, he's going to be doing interviews and he can speak about himself better than I can. But all I have is I'm just extremely grateful that he has decided to do this with me and do this with our team and really trust us. And I'm just so excited for our community to hear the things that he has to say and really know that he knows what he's talking about. This guy's been a doctor for a long time, but he has what I call the Telemundo factor, right? Like he has that TV presence as well. So we got lucky with that as well. Yeah. Dr. Felix, so we were doing some tests out here in the Lehigh Valley first. So we did try to produce the show out here first. And we just ran into some crossroads. I just felt like we can get more Spanish content in Florida. Because that's where we were launching our production company at the time. And so I had the resources out there to get more content, more Spanish content, just because everyone speaks Spanish in Florida.
For sure.
And so as we were making the move out there, reaching out to different people, the producer at the time, Rogelio, he was out there, looking for people who would want to be on the show. And Dr. Felix, raised his hand and got back to us. And after just a couple of meetings with him, it was kind of like, this is the guy, not just to do an interview with, but the guy that, I should really speak with to see if he's willing to push this product with us.
For sure. You got great production. You've got the expertise. Now it's just really about distribution. And it's interesting in 2025, so soon after Corona, how you have to focus. I was reading your bullet points and I thought, wow, they're hitting every medium. It's not just on TV. I think that might be limiting in 2025. Correct, it was only on Telemundo.
Distribution. Yeah, man. I like the way you laid that out. Yeah. Yeah. Cause I wish it was that simple when we were coming up with the plan. You that really makes it nice and clear of the distribution. Yeah. And marketing, right? Distribution and marketing has been the biggest factor. I mean, we're a small company, right? We're a small business. And even though we can make the product look big, right? We're still a small business, right? So it's really important that amazing people like yourself allow us the opportunity to talk about it. Amazing people like WFMZ allow us to air the product, right? But the product was always designed for online because the assumption is that Salud 24/7 just refers to you have access to this information 24/7, right? Everyone says that, and it's true. It's like we have like a play on words, right? So I have a hip hop background, Latin music background. So a lot of the stuff that my team and I do, there are play on words, but. For sure. The real reason it's called Salud 24/7, and honestly, this isn't written anywhere, and maybe I should provide this online or something. But we want to make sure it's information that you can use throughout your whole day, right? So it's like whether it's stuff about sleeping, right? A brand new episode that we're doing is literally about going to the bathroom, stuff that we don't want to talk about, but it's so funny. Like as I was recording the episode with the special guest and our host, I noticed all the camera people like listening in, like, oh, I got that issue.
Yeah, like you never heard of it.
Yeah, you know, and
people don't know to check the color of their urine in this heat because it's, you know, like I offered the water. I'm actually going to drink some of mine.
Yeah.
You know, that's excellent. It's funny, not to cut you off, but we're very similar. You know, I'm a one-man production team. I put together this, and you have to have some big why. If you don't have, if it's okay, there's money in health, there's money in mental health, or there's money in going viral, you know, then you chase it for the wrong reasons. You burn out quick. It's those times that you have to say, okay, we almost have this. You know, I'm sure a week away.
Sorry, I'm going to write notes here.
Yeah, no problem. You're not going to throw me off. It's just interesting how similar we are, where I feel that, okay, I have the product, and maybe, you know, if I was going for sponsors, the numbers aren't there to chase that. I'd have to go for the viral moments, but you can't do something for years, care about it, put your heart and soul, and people don't want to get behind it. Right. It's just like, wait, so all we have to do is distribute this, you know?
Right.
So congratulations to you, man.
Thank you. But something that you stated there really hit home for me. Purpose has been the word this year for me. Purpose. And so when you say your why and why we're doing it, it's just like, what is my purpose? You know? And this whole year, it's like been smacking me in the face. Yeah. And I realized that when you do what you love, right? When you stop to do what you love, even though the world's against you, you know, there's going to be a lot of obstacles in your way. When you do what you love, you'll start to notice that doors will open, right? And you'll start to notice that other people have the same purpose or their same feelings, right? Will align with you. Perfect example. How we met Dr. William Felix coming out here to the Lehigh Valley. We're like, well, how are we going to get funding when we're just starting, right? How do you get sponsors? Sure. But we found Valley Health Partners. They were just amazing, and they have the same vision, you know, as we do. Shout out to the amazing CEO, Veronica Gonzalez, you know, for really believing in this and allowing us to bring this to the Lehigh Valley. Without their support, I don't think we would have been able to do that.
Yeah, it clicked in place.
Yeah, and so anyways, when you said the why, I was just like, oh man, that just hits me, because purpose has been a huge word for me this whole year.
No, I get it. And you're targeted. It's people come up with, I think the biggest thing, you know, I know everybody says niche down, and now in 2025, it's like, if you don't have a podcast about crocheting specifically with lime green thread, like the niches are getting so small, but you have a clear idea of who you want to hit. I think people make that mistake of going the shotgun approach. They say, I'm just going to get on a podcast and talk about anything.
Right.
You know, I didn't know what this show would be 3 years out, but it's something that I said, I want to explore success, learn from failure. You know what I mean? I want to get I love that. It's kind of becoming more of in the middle of, like, success is a journey. You know, we could have this interview again in 5 years, and now everything's crazy and you're attracting, because what happens is now other doctors say, wow, this is the best platform for that. That's the goal. Yeah. You know, and not even, and it's funny when you see people grind and push and pour their hearts out, you can end up on an Oprah level, and that's not even what you were shooting for.
No, right.
It just becomes bigger than you can handle, you know, like, you saw my son helping with some of the setup.
Yeah.
He's actually teaching. He's teaching. He has a job teaching podcasting in a summer camp now.
Wow. Maybe he can teach us a few things.
So I'm asking him, is that just something that you came up with? I said, or is it something that you just happen to be into because of me? And he's like, it's definitely because it's something I came up with. Like, this is what I learned and stuff. He knows the mics and everything. So I wanted to kind of tie that into your hip hop background. So off mic, I want to take a step back. Off mic, Beth and I are on the phone, and we're doing a three-way, and we're talking about who we know, and I mentioned that I do hip hop, and I thought it'd be fitting to shout out Red McFly and his hip hop off the wall.
Yes.
Shout out to everybody doing that. But we realized we had some mutual connections in music.
Absolutely.
And this podcast was something I said, okay, at least I don't have to go through the learning curve with the audio. We can, I can make the logo, we can put something together, but it's a way to take, like you said, those gifts, those talents. So I'm sitting here, I'm listening to you, and I'm like, I'm not going to interrupt him, but man, like I feel like you could be interviewing me. It's funny. So what are the next steps? Do you just want to focus on launch? What do you consider a success? Like, are you guys looking at metrics?
Ooh, that's a great phrase. Like, what do you consider success? Mm-hmm. Because I got into this more so on the level of passion, right? Like getting this information out to the community. It's like, I'll be in business meetings and they're constantly like numbers and, and I'm like, I don't know. I just want my community to listen to it. Right. Mm-hmm. And I get it. It all comes down to the numbers, but I have noticed one thing. I have tested stuff, especially when I did music and I focused on music. Social media sometimes tricks you a little bit, right? Like you'll have a video, it'll have 10,000 views, 20,000 views. One of our episodes, just our test episodes, got 30,000 views, 30 to 40,000 views. But I noticed that by me doing this, by me speaking to the community, we get more loyal followers, more loyal,
it's a much deeper connection.
It's a much deeper connection. And so sometimes I'm like, I get it. Numbers matter on a business level, right? But if I can have Maria, and Maria's mom watching our show and being faithful to our show, that means more to me than getting 3,000 views, right? And when you look at the metrics, it's like, did they watch the whole episode? That you don't really know, right?
Oh yeah.
But every time we do this and people see why we're doing it and the importance of us doing it, I start to notice that the numbers as far as loyal watchers, tends to grow exponentially. So to me, success is like, Beth will hate me for this, right? Because Beth is great. She keeps me in line, by the way. Her and Mike keep me in line. Mm-hmm. But to me, success is when if I walk down the street and someone says Salud 24/7, or you hear our theme song, because I purposely produced that with my production partner Brian Sanchez. We purposely produced it with the style of music that our people listen to.
Sure. So it's not shout out to Brian Sanchez. I know his work.
Yeah. Brian is my brother. Years of working together, but if that theme song plays and people goes, oh, that's Salud 24/7, right? If I say Salud 24/7 and they're like, oh yeah, the podcast, the TV show, that to me, that's success. On a business side, specific numbers mean success to me. So we would like to get, 5 to 10,000 views per episode. And that would be, a success for us. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that's a super definitive number. Yeah. I was cool with just if people hear about it. It's funny. That's why I came back off hiatus. I told you on the phone off mic, Ty Witt. I ran into him at Cedar Beach, and he's like, yeah, I love the content you're putting out. It's with something personal like this, you have to do it for the love, because one, somebody could look at 200-300 views. You're talking about 20-30,000 with something personal. If 300 people would be in a room and listen to a story and actually connect, or if I go and I say, it was funny. I posted this publicly. 2 people said, did you get your inspiration from Diary of a CEO? I said, I guess I need to watch this Diary of a CEO, because I did this in a complete bubble, I just, not a bubble. I mean, I'm a conduit of everything. All throughout my 20s, I took in, Think and Grow Rich, like all sorts of positive content. And I'm like, I connect with this stuff. My podcast taste is a little bit different. I like pop culture. I'm glad there's people doing that. Yeah. That's too tiring for me. Yeah. I like to really get in, pick, and then I measure success by the people that are reaching out. It's like when they say, in marketing, we like to say if we're talking with the owner, the company might not be big enough. You know, when you have a team behind you, and especially like you said, that presence, you know, you guys, everything was punctual from setting everything to confirming, you know, and it's like, okay, if I can walk to the park and somebody tells me they saw this, and Ty doesn't even know I have you on. I didn't even tell him it's going to drop next week.
Ty is a huge, not to
he's into
throw
health.
us off,
Shout about him a little bit.
To Ty. Well, Ty is a huge part of the history of how I really got into music, right? So I was a South Side boy. I was just making different kinds of music. So what I love about what you were saying is I remember being in rooms where people would be like, oh, this has like a whatever vibe, a Timberland vibe, or this has a whatever. And it's like, I was one of the few that made music based on what I was feeling, based on the community around me, based on the music I was hearing from my cousins who would come from Puerto Rico. I mean, I was 8-9 years old when I first started mixing hip hop with reggaeton. Now it's like it's normal.
For sure.
But there was a point of my life I got out of, I was like a senior in college, and that's when I met Ty, I met Jamal, and I met a lot of them. But Ty was like, yo, you're dope, man. Like, I'll help write the songs for you. Like, you're a dope producer. And so we started working on a project called Diamonds in the Rough back in the day. And after that, I actually had more faith in what I was doing because of Ty, you know, and I realized what my skill set was as well. And there was a lot of other people in the journey as well. I want to say that other people weren't involved too.
You
but
can't shout out Ty without Drew, but watch this. Hang on, I'm gonna look right in this camera. Ty, you see what you did? You created a media monster. You put out music. You trend-setting genres, and you got me to drop a season 6.
Boom.
So air horn. I'm not gonna push these buttons. I didn't even get that far.
You can do it in post.
For sure.
Fix it in post.
But I wanted to shout out Cliff Diaz. I'm gonna put you on to Los Domineros. He's another one. He his why is he played dominoes with his grandmother, and he feels that the sport isn't represented well enough. Not well enough. Everybody plays dominoes, but it's almost like if I say, you know, we're going to play spades. Yeah. Do you think of the same place as if we're going to play, you know, poker for, you know, I don't know if there are spades games for $1.7 million. I don't know. Maybe there could be. There's a niche for everything. But it's like, he's like, look, no, I'm going to go against the stigma. I'm going to make dominoes popular. Like, I'm going to get influencers to play this. He's telling me all this a year and a half ago. He hired me to do the logo. Oh, wow. And he's like, you know, I can't bring on a whole team, but let me start with just getting these pieces, putting them together. And now a year and a half later, he's going to be streaming. He did it once. He's going to be streaming August. Bought his own equipment, didn't know how to use it. Wow. Taught him this stuff. But I bring him up because I'm going to tie it back. When I played your music, he said, I remember that that era of hip hop reggaeton. So you were a conduit of music you listen to, and you just say, look, this is how I'm going to express it. Yeah. You know, people don't understand when you speak, you're speaking all your experience into something, you know? So it's cool to tie that stuff back. Plus I feel, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, it kind of keeps you hungry in doing it. Like, you're itching that creative niche. So, I mean, this will go crazy just because it's health. Everybody, literally, the demand for everybody who needs health is only limited by the people that don't want to change or do this. Right. And if they don't want to change because they don't know, that's a different battle than they don't want to change because they don't need to, or they want to die, you know? Like,
I mean, I'm learning a lot on this journey, right? And I have an amazing health coach. Shout out to Terra Health, who also sponsor. And Cecilia, you know, she meets with me every week, and just the conversations I have with her, right? It's like, health isn't just, you know, oh, do you have diabetes? Now worry about health, right?
Preventative.
Yeah, preventative. And mental health, you know, and like, how am I even feeling this week? I just never thought to ask those questions, right? And if I felt some sort of way, I made a song about it, right? If something was really on my mind, I made a short video on it, right? That was my way of expressing myself, but I didn't realize the importance of it, right? And not everyone has the art to escape, right? And so you have to acknowledge how you're feeling and stuff. I don't know, but even the foods I was eating, man, she really opened my mind to a lot of things. And Dr. Felix constantly, I'll talk to him about just things, and he'll, I went through a pretty big moment this year. I won't get too personal, but I asked Dr. Felix first, right? And man, he just put me so at ease and stuff. And I'm like, man, this program is helping me. Like my goal was to help others, and it's helping me. And so I know the benefits of getting this information.
Absolutely. And a lot of it is little simple things. So I went through weight loss myself, but like adults don't change until they want to. Like that's one of the biggest thing I took. Shout out to Mel Robbins with their wildly popular Let Them theory. I don't know if you guys,
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of hers.
That's awesome.
Let Them.
Yeah. Oh, definitely write that one down.
Yeah.
People are getting Let Them tattoos. It's like, it might be the new secret. If you remember that Rhonda Burns book.
I read that book every year. The Secret.
The Secret? I just loaned it out. It's been sitting on my desk for years, maybe 10. And I just said, you know what? I think this person could use this. I lent it out to someone. And just the concept of it, they were like, it was crazy. Wow. But without getting too deep on Let Them, one of the things she goes is adults change when they want to. So just because you feel great about health, like one of the worst things is when I've seen people, I'm lying. It was Ty Witt. He said, not my whole family eats like I do,
right?
And he showed his cupboards and stuff. And he's like, it's the hardest choice when it's like, okay, I have tuna fish things over here. So it's like getting the whole health or making health seem cool, because what people don't want to talk about is it's lonely. Like being healthy and dieting and not going out and dipping it's a whole mentality change. So the mental health is tied to the food, like if you eat, I know for me, if I go crazy, I love sandwiches. I love bread. I love anything white, but then you tie it to like anxiety. And you're like, oh, okay. This is in the way that my body's breaking this down. This is how I have to do. So you want everybody to feel those benefits of little links that you found out. It's like, don't like intermittent fast. I think the easiest thing, I don't want to say it's easy. It's not easy. It's like the quickest hack. Like stop eating after 8 and literally just break your fast. That's why they call it breakfast.
Yeah, like when I would say that to people, and I learned that on this journey, by the way, Salud 24/7. But even in Spanish, desayuno, it's you're breaking a fast, right? And that like blows people's minds because their whole lives they said breakfast, right? Yeah,
it's just said a little different.
It's just said a little different, and the importance of that. And I don't want to say the wrong thing, right? That's why I have Dr. Felix. That's why we have producers.
Oh, for sure.
They look at all that information. But as far as what I've been learning, everything in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. Don't force yourself not to eat the ice cream, because then you're going to eat a bucket down the road, right? Sure. Having a little, but do you need a whole cup of ice cream, right? A little taste. Like it's funny. I was at Wendy's the other day, I'm not promoting Wendy's. All right. I'm not saying that's healthy.
I will actively go against Wendy's.
Yeah. My son was very like, he wanted to get the DC comic, whatever, toys, whatever, and get a burger. And he kept saying, "Oh, Daddy, like, can we have some ice cream together?" And, I'm like looking at the menu, and I just saw they had like this little junior ice cream thing. So I was able to enjoy this little junior Frosty. I didn't need a cup, that was enough,
Portion, moderation, and portion control. Yeah. It's funny. I had a buddy in our 20s when I went through 2 weight loss journeys. I actually gained 60 pounds back and lost it back. I'm about 50, 60 pounds lighter than I was.
Congratulations.
3 years ago. So I know how it works, and I know the decisions that I made that led me back to where I didn't want to be. Yeah. So, but what was I going to go on? I lost it for a second.
No worries. But I will say this to make it easier, right? You're right. Like people who are passionate about health, right? It's tough to get other people to be passionate about health. And that's why our program isn't developed to make you passionate about your health. It's to make you aware, right? And so like our social media, the demographics are completely different from our podcast. Our podcast, the podcast / TV show, those demographics are for, 45 and up, right? Because that's the age where you're kind of like, all right, you know what? I should make some changes, or I'm dealing with, I'm dealing with my mom. Whatever.
Sure. I want to educate my parents.
I want to educate. Exactly. And, that's why when we design this, it's just to bring awareness, right? So if you go on our social media, it's funny because we have some content going now, even though we're going to fully bring out our new content, by the end of the month. But I'm getting people writing to me saying, this is me. This is what I'm going through, right? Just because we had certain posts, right? And so it's just bringing
Health
awareness.
Affects everybody.
Man, it affects everyone. And there's people who really are passionate about it, but our product isn't for that. It's just to make you aware of things.
See, what people do is they see somebody with an extremely crazy physique who like ate meat and power lifted, but then went vegan, and they're like, that's all I got to do is go vegan and I look like that. It's like, sometimes it has to look more accessible and attainable in order for people to jump on. Like you said, portion control. I like the idea of focusing on just fasting, little things that you could do and change. I'm going to shout out Andre Williams. He's got his fitness going on, his fitness club. AW Fitness Club, shout out. I'll connect you with him at some point. Maybe we could link him in, but with his history and his fame, he's creating something where he said something that stuck with me, and I'm working on it now. Just take one thing. Just find one thing bad that you eat, replace it with something good.
Yeah.
He said, and sign up for AW Fitness Club, not giving you all this stuff, but he said it's like a sheet of paper. You lay down, when you're a kid, you could lay down dirty sheets of paper, but you get older, you get healthier. And I think it's good because it's easy for people to be like, I'm just too far gone.
Right.
I can't change. I can't do it.
That's the beauty of what we're doing, right? It's not about weight loss. It's not about we're going to have certain specialists that focus on all these different aspects of health, right? And their specialties, but it's more about, how do I feel right now, right? And what am I doing? Especially the reason why it was important for our Hispanic community is there's so many things that we do that are part of our culture, right? It's like, how do I feel and why do I feel this way? So do I feel, do I feel bloated, or do I feel, just sick? Oh, well, I just had 2 plates of rice and beans, and you know what I mean? So what I love is from this journey, and I'm hoping this will reach other people, right? I've learned to look at things and say, how will I feel if I drink that or if I eat that? Compared to, I have to lose weight, I can't have it because of sugar.
That's the worst.
Yeah, it's like when you go out, right? Not everybody has this ability, but hopefully you do, right? Where you have 2 drinks. Right. And that 3rd drink, you already know in your body, if I have that 3rd drink, I'm going to
not be functional the next day.
I'm not going to be functional. Right. Mm-hmm. I look at other things that way, right? Like if I don't do my daily push-ups, do I have the energy that I need to have that day? Perfect example, the ice cream, the Frosty thing that I was telling you about, I already knew that if I had more than that portion, I was going to feel sick. I was going to feel horrible.
Feel good for a little bit, then crash, and your body starts withdrawing from sugar.
Exactly. Another great thing, and I'm sorry, because this is so important, right? How do certain people make you feel in your life? And sometimes it could even be family members, right? Mm-hmm. It's like when I'm around them, I just feel negative. I don't feel myself. All of those things are important to know. How do I feel and why do I feel this way? Right. And that's why with Salud 24/7, it's not about losing weight. It's not just about mental health. It's about in general.
Yeah,
how do you feel and why do you feel this way? And you'll notice the multiple things in your life that are causing that. And that's all I'm trying to do is create awareness, right? Just create awareness. Yeah.
That's awesome. Make it accessible. I was going to ask you something about your journey personally. It may come back. I don't hold on to what I was going to say when I'm podcasting.
No worries.
It'll give a little tip for podcasters, like these things, dudes, these things. So that's great, man. I love that you as I'm doing my research on you, and I may pull it up, the video, so they know what I'm talking about, but 7 years ago, you were in the studio and you did your announcement that you were moving into media and away from music. I'm pretty sure it was 7 or 8 years ago, at least when the video was uploaded. So to think, I mean, I think it takes a good 3 to 5 years to catch your stride at anything. Yeah. Like if you could go back to that person sitting in the studio, like, are you still as energized now? Is it more of like a slow coal burn instead of that wicked, just lit a match fire? Yeah. Or like, what would you say to yourself then?
Wow. I love that question. I love that question. Because I love what you said earlier, learn from failure, So music was my life, right? A lot of people, it's funny because a lot of people see me and they know me as the artist, as Qbah the artist from a group that we had called The Experience or DXP. And that was my life for years, right? And we had our songs on Clear Channel Radio. We were blessed to perform on big stages. And, a lot of times we didn't open up for anybody. We were the headliners.
Yeah. For people that don't understand DXP's influence in this area, I mean, it was a local production that looked just like Pitbull, any of these guys, like what became mainstream, what people became some of the largest, even pop artists in the world sounded like this. You guys had videos before videos were like, people understand you guys had videos before YouTube.
Yeah, it was really on the beginning of YouTube. YouTube was around, but
Let's be honest.
Literally, we would post on Facebook more than YouTube.
For sure.
So if you go on YouTube, you'll see, just a couple thousand views, but it wasn't because people weren't listening to it. If you go on our Facebook, that's where you'll see the thousands of views, we're on our Facebook because it was that moment of, do we put it on YouTube or do we put it on, because the world was evolving. But yeah. That's funny that you mentioned that. Yeah.
I don't love that it's so hard to distribute everything. I mean, at the same time, it's very easy, but I'll tell somebody I have a podcast, they'll pull out their player. It'll be like Geo Savan. Shout out to my Geo Savan listeners, but they'll search for you and, I can't find it. I'm like, no, literally you could Google it. You can go to iwillnotlosepodcast.com. I made it that easy. And there's 30 places you could go. Lose. Because you're number 36, like you're not going to listen to it. So it's like, I wish you could hide the likes or the views because people will not watch it because they're like, like I had one thing, we posted one to Facebook, one to YouTube, 500, 1,000 views in the first week over here. I think like 8 on YouTube. Well, that's going to stop anybody from watching. Yeah. If I could just hide it or link them back, you go to post to Facebook. Back then it was just, you post the YouTube link to Facebook. Yeah.
And that was like the worst thing you could do. And once we figured that out, we just posted directly to Facebook. But yeah, that was a journey for us as well back then. But yeah, I mean, that was the life, man. That's all I knew for years. I was in theater and I did do other types of performing, not just music, but music was the thing. And most people that know me from the music, and they didn't realize that I was producing the music videos and directing some of the videos.
I didn't know that until right now. That makes a ton of sense then.
Yeah. So we were producing the music, and shout out to Baby Ranks. I mean, this guy is a legend in the game, in the Latin world, and he believed in us too. So he would come to Pennsylvania from Puerto Rico, or he would let me record some tracks in Puerto Rico. I mean, it was just a beautiful moment of my life, but I was getting older, right? I was getting older, and what was required to achieve what we considered success at the time was really difficult. All of us had families, right? And it was like, okay, we've accomplished something great here.
Yeah, you got to the end of it.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful for everyone that supported and all the amazing people that came to our shows. I mean, we were just Southside kids, you know what I mean? Making music and because we were a little bit different, it's like we got a lot of support, and I'm so grateful for that. And we were always supportive of the local artists as well.
For sure. But it seems a little different now. Like, I don't want to talk down on the scene now, but I don't know if what you guys made could happen here in the Valley, or maybe there's some people
I think it could. I will tell you this. It really wasn't that way when we started, but we made it an initiative, like, who's doing music out here? And that was the beauty of me doing production. So I can respect other people's stuff and not have that ego of like, oh, I just want people to listen to me. Right. And cause I was seeing that a lot at that time. So once we were able to be like, look, I do production, like, sometimes I'm just listening to how dope your track is. Like, oh man, man, that beat is crazy, or your lyrics are nuts, right? Because I was an audio engineer, you know, that's what was paying my bills. So I think that helped a lot as well. And then there were other artists out here that we would link up with, and then they started the trend as well, as allowing other local artists to perform with them. And so I don't want to say it was us that caused it. But
I want to be clear. It's not a talent thing. I'm not putting, people know I'm huge in the local scene and stuff like that. You know, I weekly throw on Grandpa Said by Sound Off. It's just one of my like favorite songs of all time. There's people still making music. I'm not going to shout them out, but the landscape, it's not just the skill. You guys had the drive, you guys had the sound, but it was something that was emerging. Fusion music was really big there. It was almost like, you know, life starts on planet Earth because everything's right. Nowadays with streaming, I know people that put together technically better videos, obviously, than what you had 20 years ago. Absolutely, and it's got 300 views. I'm like, you know, I'm supporting this kid from the Bay. You know what I mean? And I don't know if the landscape is set up. Like, I just don't know if
I hear what you're saying.
Like the movement or whatever it is. And, you know, the music scene has a stigma, and not just that. They announced a music awards. Did you hear about that?
No. I mean, at the time, there was the Lehigh Valley Music Awards. That's
what they're comparing it to. And there's a team bringing it out. Shout out to them, because the music scene has been completely underrepresented. I mean, they're going with what the times are. It's almost as if the Lehigh Valley Hip Hop Awards 2 years ago.
Oh, I see.
It's almost as if that didn't happen.
Oh,
they're saying,
really?
They literally said in the headline, there is no music. There has been no music award show. I'm like, there was actually a full, like,
I'm on the win. I have the award at home. We're winners of it.
Yeah, but no, they're not doing. I didn't see anything for hip hop being represented as one of the music, and you know, it's weird. People are going to listen back. I doubt any of my younger listeners are going to go back. The people that connect with this conversation are going to be the people who say, wow, you know, we connected, like, we remember that. You know, you can't explain to the kids what it was, and they're not going to go back and look at it. But it's amazing that you guys adapted to nowadays, where you can put yourself everywhere. People are going to hear it, share it, find it. You have the production. You know, you spent your whole life putting the pieces together to do this.
Man, I never thought I would say this out loud, right? My team knows this about me. I'm always going to create something. Whether it's songs, whether it's another TV show, and I say TV show lightly, right? But it's like, or a film, like Beth is.
You want to do a film?
Constantly working on films, and oh man, my team has had a film in mind. This film that we want to work on for the past 5 years as well, right? So I just realized I didn't answer your question about 5 years ago.
What you would say to yourself? It's cool. Finish on your thought, and I'll bring it back.
You know, and forgive me, I haven't been on the mic or in front of a camera for those 7 years. You know, so
oh wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, man, it's been a while.
I guess it's like riding a bike. It's don't make me take a 7-year hiatus.
Yeah. But I will say this. There has been more failures in this 5 years than I've ever had before I retired. But what I have learned has inspired me and has motivated me to fight for my purpose even more.
Yeah, man.
So the obstacles that this show still faces, and we get up every day, and Beth pushes me. My team pushes me. I push my team. Like, we're just constantly getting because there's so many hurdles.
For sure.
But when you're like, this is what I'm made for. This is what I'm designed for, right? And I can choose the easy way, right? And I forgot who said this. It's a great quote because I say it all the time. Sometimes it's easier for me to keep going than to quit. And it's really hard to explain that unless you're a dream chaser, right?
Unless you get
it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what? I give up today. I'm not going to do this anymore. And you literally have to fight harder to give up than to keep going.
It's like I just told somebody the other day who was publicly saying they were going to quit music. And I'm like, I'm not going to say how many streams they had or it'll be a dead giveaway. It's kind of like a personal thing. Yeah. People will fact check and put it in the comments if they want to, but said sometimes something is bigger than you.
Yeah.
You don't think I don't want to come off hiatus?
Yeah.
You don't think it's just fun, like working on non-disclosure artwork that I can't show to the world? Yeah. That doesn't inspire anybody else to go and start doing stuff. Big shout out to Vanessa Guevara. She was one of the people who mentioned me about Diary of a CEO.
Yeah.
And that girl
she did my photos when we were DXperience.
I know. I think you were at her open launch party.
Yeah,
I think there's a picture.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and check on Facebook. When I do my research, if I have time before Tuesday, I'll throw it up. But I think you're in a picture. I was in a gray suit and something at her opening. I feel like we were all there.
Yeah.
Because I remember Jamal was there.
Yeah. I
remember Jamal was there. And I said to her, she doesn't realize how much she inspires me because I said to her, look, you have a degree, or I don't know if she had gone back to school at that time, but she had a job at B. Braun. And it's just like, listen, why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. She's like, you're self-employed. Like, don't you do this? You know? No, and big shout out to Vanessa Guevara.
Yes, amazing talent.
Not only did she bring me back with inspiring me with the whole Diary of a CEO. I was up at like 2 a.m. when I watched that first episode, and I'm writing out the seasons and stuff. But she had a job at B. Braun and she left to start her photography studio, and people thought she was crazy. I thought she was crazy. I'm like, I only do this because no one hires me. Like, she's like, but you're self-employed. Like, you could do this. Like, you're part of the reason. You and other people are why I want to do this. And from that point on, I was like, okay, I can inspire people. Yes. I am a muse, whether I do it through branding and give them a logo to go and stand out, whether I interview them on a show and just take all the care. I mean, we could have we could do this on a cell phone. Right. With little Rode mics, right. Not even the Rode ones, the ones you get off Temu.
Yeah.
There's a low barrier to entry to content creating. So, it's interesting. So there's so many people we could shout out. I didn't realize how much that I'm sure we've met. You told me that we met. I don't remember that Hispanic Chamber of Commerce event.
No, you know what it is you have the same name.
Oh, you thought
as another.
You thought I was Tony Ortiz.
So when I saw your pictures and stuff, I was like, oh no, it's a whole different person.
I haven't met him, but he's part of the reason I go with Tony Ortiz, the designer. I'm like, all right, I can't. I got to make I Will Not Lose bigger than Tony Ortiz, the podcaster.
Can I say something to you?
What's that?
I don't believe in coincidence. So. My team knows this about me, all right?
Yeah.
Nobody else.
I don't believe in coincidence, so let's hear what you got.
Nobody else knows this, just my team. That phrase, I say it in our meetings when things aren't working. I'm like, I will not lose, right? It all started when I was in high school, and my junior year, I did a talent show, and I wasn't even named, like, not even top 5, right? And I just... obviously Jay-Z was big at the time, all those things. So I just remember that phrase just was embedded in my head. And I was like, I will not lose. You know what? Next year, I'm going to win the talent show. I'm not going to get third, second. I'm going to get first. And I just put that in my head. And I started planning out exactly what the show should be for me to win. And long story short, I did the show the next year. And forgive me, I don't like talking about myself, but I think it's important, that phrase, right? I did the show, standing ovation. I turned around, and back then it wasn't easy to audio edit or whatever. So I used like karaoke machines or whatever. Right at the end of my show, I put, I will not lose. And we took first place. First place. And like, ever since that, that's like a definitive, like,
I hear the beat drop right now. That's another one of my once a week. It's funny when you get older, you don't listen to new songs. You just listen to the same songs in different order every day. But that was one of my inspirations, was the Jay-Z, I Will Not Lose. I wanted to tie it in with hip hop, but I didn't want it to be a hip hop podcast.
That. Yeah, because I mean, that's for everybody, man. That's
for
everybody. And that's why
I had the name before I knew. If you go back to my first episode, I'm here talking about, well, I could do this. If that fails, I'll just play Halo. I'll just be a gaming channel, but I Will Not Lose. It was available and took me like a year and a half, and I still battle back and forth with Jay-Z. Like if you search I Will Not Lose, I Will Not Lose Tony, I Will Not Lose podcast I got, but
man, I love it.
Yeah, that's the greatest hip hop quotable of all time.
I was like, no coincidence. Like,
that's
because,
awesome.
this is our first promotion of Salud out here. And I'm like, out of all the places, we have some interviews after this, but I Will Not Lose is the first one. I'm like, man, that's not a coincidence.
Yeah. I'm going to get the clips together because that'll help bring awareness to the show, but also awareness to yourself. Yeah. I want to let you close out on the mic. I want to ask you a very specific question. I want to call back from a question earlier, but I want to tell you, and this is as if there was no cameras or mics, as if I'm saying it to myself.
Yeah.
You need to talk about yourself.
Well, that's special. Why Beth got me on here.
You're special. All right. You have a gift. You're meant to do this. And if, I don't know, for me, it's imposter syndrome, but if any of that stuff holds you back from being the light you have to be because of like, you're probably like me, I want to be humble and stuff like that. About 6 months ago, I was like, shit, I could be humble all I want. People don't do what I do. People don't work like I work. So if that part inspire somebody else, if you guys are comparing me to one of the top podcasts in the world, you're telling me that's the sort of guests I should attract. And when I look at season 6, I'm like, damn, I grew this. This is crazy. So don't forget to talk to yourself. If you could go back or talk about yourself, if you could go back to that video where you were in the studio and you said, listen, I'm leaving music. It's been a great journey. I'm going to go off to do production. And that was 7-8 years ago. What would you tell yourself?
I would definitely tell myself, oof. So creatives are emotional, just so you guys know. It's easy to be strong in front of people and stuff, but creatives are emotional. We just show it a different way. So forgive me if I'm a little emotional. But I would tell myself that what made you who you were, even in the music, is what's going to make the next chapter successful. You don't have to be someone else. You don't have to. I didn't have to even do that video. I learned that in these past 7 years.
Past 7 years. Yes.
That passion, that person, the music I listened to, the people that were in my life, the adventures I went on, right? The experiences I gained, the amazing people down the road who believed in me. All of that I learned before I stopped doing music. And I just thought, it's a whole different world now that I'm behind the scenes. And
that's how you felt then?
That's how I felt then. And this whole journey now has taught me, nah, man, like you need that same passion, that same drive, that same reason why you woke up and wanted to make a song has to be the same reason you wake up to produce a TV show, to produce a film, like making music for films, right? All of that, you have to have that same passion and drive, and everything in your past.
You can't shut the door on it.
You can't shut the door on it.
It leads to something.
It leads to something, and it's the reason I am who I am, right? And there's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all, man. Not at all.
But I have amazing people on my corner. That's the one thing that I will say. I've always been grateful because for some reason there have been amazing people with amazing talent that have been on my team, right? So maybe I don't like talking about myself because
it's not just you.
Exactly. And it's so hard to explain that to people. I'm like, yo, your team is everything. Like my creative director, Benny, Brian, who does the production with me. Beth right now is holding this down, right? Sarah Viteri, shout out to La Princesa. She's really getting the stuff out there and letting people know about this. Mike Walsh, you know, like, so the Dr. Felix Pixani, one of the producers of the show, like everybody is so integral, right? Like
air horns.
You know, so it's hard for me to be like, yo, look at me. But I will say that my skill set is to get the right people it together, right? That's always been my skill set. Yeah, that's excellent, man. So with that being said, I'm here because of Beth, and Beth knows the things that we need to be saying for Salud. So I'm gonna let her.
I think I do, maybe a little. Yeah. No, I'm just happy to be a part of this whole program with you because his passion for this program is just crazy, and it needs to be said. It needs to be brought to the Lehigh Valley, and I'm just so happy that you're bringing it here, and I'm so happy that you're having us here to talk about it. This is our first time promoting the program, and hopefully it's not our last. And you know, this is all about making connections. So connections with you guys obviously have some sort of past you didn't even know about. Sure. Connections to the listeners right now, if they have any connections that would be beneficial for Salud 24/7, whether it's someone who's, in the health care, right now, or if they have businesses that want to get involved in sponsorship and advertising, because none of this happens if there's not money behind it. And that's the unfortunate part about this all. Yeah. You could have the passion and, the drive, but we do need sponsors and advertisers to help us out. So if there are any businesses out there that would be a fit for our niche, reach out to me. I'm on social media. I can give you some information. I'm very open to talk to anybody. Yeah. And if we can...
I do some stuff in healthcare, like for my real job.
Okay.
We could talk off mic for sure.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
But where can we find you? Do you guys have the website up?
Yeah. So, we're still prepping everything for this launch, right? Just like a good film, they're tweaking things until the day it's released, but salud-247.com, salud-247.com. There you'll find the different places, right? If you prefer it on Apple Podcast, if you prefer Spotify or just YouTube, right? Facebook, Instagram, it's all there. So awesome. I would say go there because that'll be the best way for you to just choose where you, whatever your preference is as far as how you want to
take it in. That's how you got to. This guy's so media trained. He said, we're just going to read off the website. He said, follow at this, T is in Tom, O is in the designer. That's great. Well, Qbah, thank you so much, man.
I appreciate you, man.
For sure.
I do.
Beth,
thank you.
Thanks so much.
So nice to see you.
For sure. Best of luck with everything and to the top.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of I Will Not Lose Podcast. To support the show, visit iwillnotlosepodcast.com. You can subscribe to your favorite podcast player, share the episode link, leave a comment. Your contribution is greatly appreciated. And if you're listening in and can't see the QR code for donation, go to tothedesigner.com/links, and there's instructions to donate up there. Thanks so much.